The Maze Runner movie summary in English. Let's begin. A teenage boy wakes up inside an underground elevator with no memory of his identity and is greeted by several male youths in a large grass area, called the Glade, enclosed by giant stone walls. The Gladers have formed a rudimentary society, and each assumes specialized tasks. The boy learns that a vast maze surrounding them is the only way out. During the day, designated runners search the maze for an escape route and return before the entrance closes at nightfall. After a fight with Gally, the boy remembers his name is Thomas. The next day, he is attacked by Ben, a runner who has been stung and left delirious by a griever, one of the biomechanical creatures that roam the maze at night. Ben is forced into the maze by the other boys and left to die as there is no cure for his condition. Albie, the leader, and Miho, the lead runner, retrace Ben's steps inside the maze the following morning. Miho reappears late in the afternoon dragging Albie, who has been stung, but is unable to reach the closing entrance in time. Thomas runs into the maze to help, which leaves all three trapped. Thomas lures a griever into a closing passageway, which causes it to be crushed. The three manage to survive the night and return the next morning. A girl arrives in the elevator, with a note saying that she is the last one to enter the Glade. She recognizes Thomas, but he cannot remember her. Thomas, Miho, Frypan, Winston, and Zart enter the maze, locate the griever corpse, and remove a beeping mechanical device from inside it. Gally claims that Thomas has jeopardized the fragile peace between the Gladers and the grievers, and wants him punished. However, Newt, the group's second-in-command, instead designates Thomas as a runner. Miho shows Thomas a model of the maze that is based on previous explorations. The maze's numbered sections open and close in a regular sequence, and Thomas realizes that the device corresponds to a section of the maze. The girl, Teresa, has 2 syringes filled with an unknown substance. One is used on Albie, and he recovers from the griever sting. Miho and Thomas venture back into the maze with the device and discover a possible exit. Several traps are activated, forcing them to leave. That night, the maze entrance does not close, and other doors open, allowing grievers to enter the Glade. Albie, Zart, Clint, and several other Gladers are killed, and Gally blames Thomas for the events. Thomas, who has been having disconnected memory flashes since his arrival, stabs himself with a severed griever stinger in an attempt to revive his memory before he is injected with the last antivenom. Unconscious, he recalls that he and Teresa worked for the organization that created the maze, WCKD, and the boys unknowingly have been test subjects for an experiment. Gally, having taken command, intends to sacrifice Thomas and Teresa to the grievers to restore peace. However, several Gladers free them and enter the maze, but Gally and a few others refuse to leave. As they attempt to access a possible exit, Jeff and several other Gladers are killed by grievers. The Gladers eventually enter a laboratory strewn with corpses. In a video recording, Ava Page, a WCKD official, explains that the planet has been devastated by a massive solar flare, followed by a pandemic caused by a deadly virus known as the flare. The group learns that they were part of an experiment intended to develop a cure. Paige shoots herself in the video as the lab is overtaken by armed men. Gally, having been stung by a griever, appears with a gun and insists that they will never be free, before firing a bullet at Thomas. Miho impales Gally with a spear, but Gally fatally shoots Chuck. While Thomas mourns over Chuck, masked armed men rush in and take the group to a helicopter. It flies over a vast desert wasteland and approaches a ruined city. Later, the supposedly dead scientists meet in a room. Paige notes that the experiment has been successful and the survivors are now entering Phase 2.